Okay, so today I'm going to be explaining the topics of O2 deficit and EPOC. So here you have the standard graph for what occurs when you exercise and your VO2 over time. So as you start exercise, you start around a resting level around like 3.5, maybe a little higher because you're standing or you're anxious. But you start around a resting level and your VO2 increases, you reach a steady state, and you stop exercising, and then your VO2 decreases and you get back to rest. So the steady state that you reach is called the O2 demand. So right here you have your O2 demand of exercise. This is how much oxygen your body requires to take in for a given intensity exercise. And that can vary based on what type of exercise you're doing, etc. But here you reach a steady state, and this is the O2 demand for this exercise. But you can see here that once at the beginning, at the onset of exercise, you aren't already at your O2 demand. So this space right here is what we call the O2 deficit, or the oxygen deficit. So this space, which is the O2 deficit, is basically the energy systems that don't require oxygen are providing the ATP prior to the aerobic system being able to intake enough oxygen and then maintain the steady state. So here you have your ATP-PC system, your anaerobic glycolysis are all working to produce ATP for excitation-contraction coupling, which allows you to actually exercise. And then as time continues, you'll be able to reach a steady state once your aerobic system catches up and is consuming enough oxygen so that you can perform exercise aerobically. So this is what the O2 deficit is. So here you have your steady state exercise, continue your exercise, and then here you stop exercising. So as you stop exercising, your O2 demand goes from this level and goes back to resting, because once you stop exercising, you go back to the state that you were, you're standing around, so you go back down to your resting level O2 demand. However, you can see that the VO2 only starts to decrease a little slowly and reaches the O2 demand a lot later. This right here is what we like to call the EPOC, or excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. So what excess post-exercise oxygen consumption is that once you stop exercising, your O2 demand goes back to a resting level. Your body is still intaking an excess amount of oxygen after your exercise bout. And this has actually gotten a lot of popularity in recent years because of its application to weight loss and training. There's been many new regimens such as high-intensity interval training or HIIT training, which its goal is to maximize the EPOC, which in the idea of it is to increase the amount of fat that you burn, and by increasing this, you can basically increase the amount of oxygen that you're intaking, and the amount of oxygen you intake has a relationship with the amount of calories you're burning. So the goal is to increase this. It is like minimizing the amount of time that you're exercising by doing very high intensity bouts of exercise in intervals. So that's that. Oxygen deficit is the oxygen that you're not intaking before you reach the steady state, and EPOC is the excess amount of oxygen that you're intaking until you reach the O2 demand of a resting level after exercise.